Hear that light rain hitting the roof? You know what that means? That means it's legal to kick back in my new recliner. Well, new to me anyway. And yeah. You know, at first I put it over here and did that chair, but I found out that I like that chair better. It's a little higher and I like it better when I'm sitting there looking out. But when I'm in this chair, I'm usually going back like this, so my view out the window doesn't make too much difference. So I think this is probably where it will be. Yeah, it works. Raining, I can't be outside anyway. I think after I get my pets fed, put my boots on, we got that little bit of rain a few minutes ago. Probably didn't even get a tenth of an inch, but I got enough to. I got 4 gallons of good drinking and cooking water. Of course, I boil that before I actually use it. Come here. Anyway, the other day I went out and took a little chainsaw and I'd just done some little trips around the property here. Quite a bit of storm damage down and stuff, so I just walked along and I chopped them up into pieces. But I'm gonna put those boots on now and go up, take a trip around and get all that thrown off the trail. So got the cabin partner Jim's bringing his family in about a week. A couple daughters, grandkids, a son-in-law. I thought I'd try to have some trails mowed up so they can go out and mess around. That's all I got left. I got to make some more pancakes. Anyway, stopped raining. The sun's starting to break out a little bit. So it'll be a good day to do some chores around the property. I usually try to stick around because I'm more apt to have company just stopping in on the weekends and during the week, but another good day. Well, as I'm heading out to clear that trail, I was going to take the camera along, and the battery is down a little bit, so I changed it out. Then I had 2 batteries to charge, so I showed you last time I got this little USB adapter that fits onto the car battery with a couple clamps, and I've got 4 plug-ins for USBs, and so here I'm charging an auxiliary speaker I have for my MP3 player, and got 2 camera batteries charging up, and it really works nice. And the bonus is that if I plug it into the circuit over by the radio, it gets static. And so this way I can have the radio on and no static and charge the batteries at the same time. Got my protective orange on as it is. Rough grouse season is open, but I've been here 5 days and I haven't heard a shot anywhere in the distance, so I think between the kind of the foliage is hanging on longer than normal on the brush. Cycle, the rough grouse are maybe down a little bit, and then remember all those rains and all that wet last spring, that probably was a real hardship than anyone that was trying to nest. And so I did have a few walking into the, pick up a little bit of grit the other day, but just not hearing any drumming. Pretty quiet on the rough grouse front. You hardly know it's a trail around here, but there's actually two trails come together right here. I think with those Jim's grandkids going to be around, if I get these trails mowed, if they go for a little bit of a romp, they stay on the trail, they'll find their way back to the cabin. Probably ought to issue a whistle apiece in case they step off the side and don't know which way the trail is. Really easy to do back here, just a mess. But maybe if I get a path mowed and if they follow instructions, we'll be good. You see what I mean? You wander around and without it being mowed, you wouldn't know there's trails back to the cabin here. But that ought to help with one of my mini mowers through here. Clean it up. I think I dressed a little warm for this project. The reason I'd let them go for like a year is because when they first came down, they were green and 3 times that heavy, and I think there was, last winter when I first came by, the snow was piled on them, and Even though I got a little sweat up doing this, a whole lot easier than it would have been last winter. Need to get this spot cleaned up a little bit because you can see I got a lot of logs I was cutting and peeling last spring, and this trip before I go home I want to get my solar powered boulder lifter back in there and maybe yank some of them logs around and get them all lined up so next winter I can come right in here and hook the snow dog up and get them pulled right over to the cabin. That's the plan anyway. I just hope we don't have 3.5 foot of snow again. As I was setting up, I heard a gunshot off to the west. First one for the week. I wanted to note here, remember last winter, cabin partner Jim and I had the snow dog out here. We were yanking these big boulders out of here. I mentioned how deep the snow was. Well, the snow was so deep that even though we were messing around here getting all those rocks out, we were working right over the top of these 3 that we missed. So I have to get them this winter. Nice to get that little project done, but in the total scheme of things, we just threw the fallen trees off probably maybe 1/3 to 1/2 mile of trail, and you know, that just leaves 28.5 to go. I don't think I'm going to get to those though. In my later years here, I've been trimming back on how many trails I really think it's important to keep open. I think the way the smoke's coming out of that chimney, it'll be pretty warm in there, so I think I'll sit out here a while and get cooled down. I really don't need the blaze orange around the yard here. Most hunters have adopted this as a kind of like a no-shoot zone. So they respect it. Such a neat place. They like having the grouse around too. You see a moose come flying by here? I just cut a 1/2 mile coffee trail, a big loop coming right back to the cabin. And the last 100 yards down here, I got big moose tracks in the mud heading right this way, but then the ground got hard and I can't see it. But near as I can tell, he probably flew right through here a few minutes ago. That's nice, they're coming back. After pitching that wood all day and all that cotton, I was hungry, so I made up a big batch of real fried potatoes and got some chicken fried venison steak there. I needed it.